Hey everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. Well, Saturday, July 27th. A little overcast today. We got another shower of rain last night, thank goodness. We're getting to the point where it can take a couple days off now if it wants to. It's amazing how it goes from one extreme to the other. But anyway, thought I'd bring you along for the adventures today. Probably all be wrapped up in one video. I don't know how much footage I'll get, but I'm gonna go down to a friend of mine's house, hour or so away, and help him with a little 140 Farmall he's got. Been sitting for a little while, wants to get it back going so he can use it to mow around his farmyard. Possibly a little water leak, so we got to get it back going and running, see if we can figure out where the water's coming from. It's a radiator hose, something simple, something major, not sure. But told him it'd just be easier for me to come down with a service truck. I got most everything I need. I'm gonna stop by Tractor Supply and get a couple small items that could come in handy, and we're gonna see what we can do. So I thought I'd bring you along for a little bit of it today, and hopefully enjoy it. You never know what you're gonna get here. Stay tuned. We made it here. Man, this is nice. I like to have a big old building like this at my place. Work on something in the shade and the dry. But anyway, like I said, been sitting. Got a little mower behind it here, so I'm gonna get some cords drug out, some light, and check the point and stuff, get some gas in it, see if we can get it to turn over and see where this water's coming from. We can figure it out, so bring it along for it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that's a miracle. Tank looks pristine inside, doesn't have any gelled up gas in it. Stinks, but we don't have a whole bunch of rust to present a problem getting down in the sediment bowl, so that's a plus there. So what we'll do first is get the carburetor off of it. First, I'm just going to unbolt everything. Looks like maybe the float's stuck. The gas was on, so I'm sure it's leaked all the gas out sitting here, but which is a good thing. But I'm going to take the carburetor off, get it apart, clean everything up best I can, get it back on. We'll pour some, he got me some non-ethanol gas here. We'll pour that in, flush the line out, make sure we don't, no trash or anything's in the line, blow that out with air, and put the carburetor back on it, get that part finished up first, and then after that, get it spinning over, check the fire. Looks like somebody has put, it almost looks like a new distributor. So maybe a new distributor, the cap's new, the plugs are new, the wires, coil, so all the electronic components should be in good shape. So I believe we get some fuel to it, the carburetor situated, it'll probably fire up, and then we'll have to address. I don't see anything obvious. The water pump's got a little bit of play in it. Nothing major. I don't know if it could be that hose right there because it doesn't look the best. I haven't even checked the water in it yet, but we'll figure out where the water's coming from and go from there. Well, I got the fan running, of course, and the generator powering that, so there's a background noise. But set you up here and get a few clips of miscellaneous different things we got going on. I'm sure all of you've done this by now, but we're going to see what we can get accomplished. I think that, like I said, it'll go pretty smooth as far as this fuel system. The carburetor here shouldn't give, you say rebuild a carburetor like this, it's really, there's nothing wrong with them if you can get them clean, if the needle and seats wore out, or float's got a hole in it or something. But other than that, if you can get them cleaned out and all the jets and orifices, they're bulletproof. So we're gonna swing for the, I didn't bring a kit, but I got some extra parts left over from another kit, so we'll try that. But let me finish getting this off. Like these hoses right here and this governor arm back here and choke are tedious. We'll get that off, get it over here on the makeshift workbench somewhere, and see if we can get it tore apart and see how bad it is. Yeah, we got to pull that off because it's full of gas, so the float probably stuck in it and drained all the gas out, and the big dirty spot down here. So, which like I said, is good in a sense. So we'll get that apart. I wanted to get that off for this hose, and it's hard to get to that choke cable back there, or choke rod. get the governor cotter pin out of it and carburetor off. Well, we got a makeshift workbench here. I'm gonna have to move my fan back up here. I'm starting to sweat, but probably can't hear much other than a generator background noise. I guess while I'm not back there at the tractor, I could cut it off. But anyway, got the hose off. That could stand to be replaced. I got to go searching for it under the truck. But I think somebody's been in here with the way the pins were on the governor arms and choke rods and stuff like that. So probably when they did the tune-up and all the work, they cleaned the carburetor up, and then the float just stuck, drained all the gas out. So I'm hoping it's pretty clean on the inside. Gaskets won't be seized up, hopefully. We can replace them. Yeah, somebody's definitely been in here. What that lock washer is on there for, unless that's stripped out. But anyway, we'll figure it out, what needs to be done, and go from there. I did go off and leave my extra stash of carburetor cleaner at the farm, so I've only got one can, so I've got to be sparing with that. But worst case, I can go get some if I have to. Kind of the scenario we came up with. Well, my camera battery died. They're not lasting any time anymore. Right in the middle of conversation, but anyway, we're in the process of getting the carburetor apart here and get this gasket not to rip. Said I don't think it's an old gasket, it's just old gas is kind of sticky. But I've said it a couple times already, I'm really glad that the tank isn't a nightmare. That's one of the problems on Daddy's Cub. The tank is really, really rusty inside. Well, you goon, if you pull the gasket off the right way, it needs to come off the bottom. Disclaimer, guys, I'm not a tractor mechanic. I have been turning wrenches since I was old enough to walk, so I can pretty much feel my way through most of it. But again, don't do as you see or I say, just do as you do. We're just kind of documenting, helping a friend out here, and a lot of this work that I'm doing on this is going to be hand in hand with getting mine going. But we'll see what happens. So I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm going to get the gasket the rest of the way off if I can without ripping it. Which I brought a couple extra ones. I might have one for this one, I don't know. But we'll see how bad it is once we get it apart and clean it up. Stay tuned. Now, probably not gonna be able to see that, but yeah, the float's stuck. I mean, not the float stuck, but the needle's stuck. So we got it off without ripping the gasket. Get everything cleaned up. It's not too awful bad. I mean, it's got some junk down there in the bottom. Not anything major, just some nastiness. We'll get everything cleaned out, pull the jets out, clean all those up, see what we can do. Well, we got it back together, guys. Nothing major. I had a couple of passages that had some gummed up places in them, but we cleaned everything out, blew it all out, cleaned it up good with brake clean. The gasket here was good. The needle and seat that I had, the needle was, the seat was right, but the threads were right, but the body's too big, so I didn't want to take a chance on that. But I don't think we'll have any trouble with it, especially with no more rust coming through the tank like that in sediment bowl. So let me get this bolted back up and get some gas flowing through the tank, clean that out a little bit, and hopefully we'll be ready to give it some fire here in a few minutes, see if we got fire at the points. See how big a mess we can make here. Oh yeah, it's just gas flowing good. Okay, that's what I wanted to see there. carburetor's back on. The hose is okay, it doesn't look the best, but it needs to be a little bit shorter. May address that later on. Fuel line's back on. Sediment bowl is cleaned out, no leaks so far. I'm gonna leave the bottom off of the oil bath air filter just in case the needle sticks in the carburetor. It'll flow gas out there instead of filling it back up. Once we get it running, I'll put some oil in that. So now we gotta go around here and see if we can get some fire. I think what I'm gonna do, the radiator is pretty much empty, so it might have a massive leak, I don't know. I'm gonna try to get it fired up, and if it'll fire and run for a second or two, then we'll cut it off, and then we'll pull this nose cone off up here probably and address the water leak. Looks like everything in here is new, so I'm assuming this is indeed a new distributor. Got a little bit of corrosion on it, nothing just from sitting moisture. We'll take a little emery cloth and touch those up. Losing my tools. Points look good, new condenser. Yeah, I think all that's new. Let's see if I got any fire. Let's see if you can see that. I'm gonna pull them apart. Lights up, so we got fire there. I'm gonna run a piece of emery through those lightly. Clean it up, clean the cap up and stuff, and then we'll put the fire piece in between the plug wire, make sure we got fire going to plugs, and we'll go from there. I think my camera likes that LED light. Piece of emery cloth, that's what I'm talking about. It's hard to find this stuff anymore. It comes on a roll. This is just 180. If the points weren't new, I probably would just clean them up with a dollar bill, because you don't want to take too much material off, but they haven't arced enough to really create any issue in the contact. So we'll run this across them if I can find my screwdriver. Just lightly once or twice. Like I said, there's no build-up. I think he said somebody was working on this and stopped for some reason. I can't remember. So they've done a lot of work to it. Don't see much on that. Turn it over. That's all we need. Do the cap now. Like I said, just lightly. I'm gonna hit the contact in there. It's just got a little, looks like blue moisture corrosion on it. This is 12 volts, where we were talking about my Farmall C still being 6 volts. You really got to make sure that all this is clean, because if not, with that weaker battery and point system, it doesn't create quite the fire as a 12 volt. Plus it doesn't spin over as well. So anyway, I'll do this, and I'll hit the rotor button, blow the debris out, put it back together, and then we'll check the spark plug fire. All right, see if it lights up. Have any fire coming to the plugs. All right, let's see what it'll do. Well guys, brought you along for most all of it. This little machine runs like a sewing machine, honestly. Didn't have any issues. Could possibly stand maybe a valve cover gasket sometime in the future, but we do believe the water leak was from a hose clamp on the bottom radiator hose that was pretty much loose. It had been changed, might have got forgotten about getting tightened up, but you know, these tractors vibrate so much, it's hard to say. Like the valve cover gasket, it had vibrated one of the nuts loose over the years, so I tightened it up and it might seal it up, but it sure does run good. I wish I could have found one of these before, you know, I got to see. I've got all the cultivators for the Cub, but it just doesn't have the power that these Super A's and 140s do. But I'll tell you, they sure hold their resale value. But hopefully he'll enjoy it and get some use out of it. And I told him if anything else comes up, you know, we'll definitely come back down here. But right now, it's running like a sewing machine. We got it up to temperature and pumped the tires up, so I hope to see him mowing some grass with it before long. So I'm gonna get packed up here in the truck, and I'll get with you guys in a minute. We'll just call this one good on the little 140 Farmall. All right, guys, little 140's running. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Definitely something different today. Helping a good friend out, kind of sharpen my skills on some of the things that have been years since I messed with to work on the C. But I can't believe that thing runs as good as it does. I really wish I could have found one of those, like I said, you know, back, and I'm not going to say that I won't end up with one at some point, but he was tickled, pleased. I think it'll give him a lot of good years of service again after sitting, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll head towards the house. We'll see what happens. Don't forget to check out farmmerchbin.com if you're interested in any of my stuff, hats, shirts, decals, koozies, keychains, license plates, you name it. They do work for a lot of great channels as well. Check those out. Or if you're just needing something done, Nick and Allison will hook you right up. Tell them Nelson IP Farm sent you. So go home, get a shower, and go get something to eat. We'll see what happens over the next couple days. Until then, thank you.